Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and fix a massive problem that is literally draining your YouTube channel's revenue as we speak. If you're a creator building an audience from outside the United States, you might be losing a huge chunk of your income to the IRS, and you might not even realize it. But hey, do not panic. Today we're going to walk through exactly how to protect your hard-earned money using the facts provided directly by the IRS and Google.
24%. Yeah, you heard that right. If you are a creator outside the US and you haven't filled out your tax information, Google is legally required to take up to 24% of your total worldwide earnings in backup withholding. And listen, that isn't just 24% of what you make from American viewers, that is a massive 24% of every single dime your channel makes globally. It's wild.
So, part 1. Let's stop losing your money. Here's the deal. Under Chapter 3 of the U.S. Internal Revenue Code, platforms like YouTube are designated as withholding agents. Basically, this means they are legally obligated to collect tax info, withhold taxes, and report to the IRS whenever a creator earns royalty revenue. You know, things like ad views, super chats, or channel memberships from viewers located in the U.S. Because of this, the IRS forces Google to assume the worst. They will apply that maximum 24% backup withholding to your entire global income if you don't submit your valid documentation by December 10th each year.
Moving on to Section 2. Let me introduce you to your financial hero, Form W-8BEN. Now, it's actually a super common mistake to mix up these two forms, so let's clear it up. Form W-9, that is strictly for U.S. citizens and resident aliens. But if you are an individual non-U.S. creator, meaning you live outside the U.S. and you don't pay taxes there, the W-8BEN is your golden ticket. It's the official certificate you hand over to Google to prove your foreign status and, most importantly, claim a massively reduced withholding rate.
When you look at this form, you're going to see the term beneficial owner pop up a lot. What does that actually mean? Well, the beneficial owner is simply the person who actually owns and controls the income. As a solo creator, you are the beneficial owner of your channel's royalties. You're not an agent collecting it for someone else, right? It's your channel, your money, and that is exactly the status this form verifies.
Okay, Section 3, the tax treaty loophole. This is where things get really good.
See, proving you aren't an American resident is really only half the battle here. The U.S. actually has agreements with over 60 countries to prevent double taxation. By claiming treaty benefits on your W-8BEN, your withholding rate drops from a default of 30% all the way down to 15%, 10%, or sometimes even 0, totally depending on your country. And here's the best part. This tax is then only applied to the revenue generated by your U.S. audience, not your global audience. To claim this, you just need your local foreign tax ID. You know, like a PAN card if you're in India or a SIN if you're up in Canada.
Section 4. Real Creator Tax Math. Let's look at the actual stakes here.
Let's say your YouTube channel makes $1,000 this month globally, and let's say 100 of that comes from U.S. viewers. If you do nothing and fail to file your tax forms, Google applies backup withholding to everything. You lose 24% of your entire $1,000. Boom, that's $240 just gone. But if you properly file your W-8BEN and claim a treaty, like say the 15% rate for India under Article 12 for royalties, you are only taxed on that $100 of U.S. revenue. And 15% of $100 is just $15. So you went from losing $240 down to just $15. Honestly, that is the absolute power of getting this form right.
Which brings us to Section 5. Here is your step-by-step filing guide.
By the way, if this explainer is already saving you money, take a second to hit that subscribe button right now to support the channel. Okay, so inside your AdSense account under Payments and Manage Tax Info, the digital form is really just broken into 3 main parts. Part 1 is your basic identification as the beneficial owner. Part 2 is where you actually claim your country's tax treaty benefits. And Part 3 is your digital signature, basically certifying under penalties of perjury that everything you entered is true. You really only have to navigate these 3 specific sections. It's not as scary as it looks.
Now, quick warning, the IRS is completely unforgiving when it comes to formatting. You absolutely must follow their strict rules perfectly. First, your name must match your legal documents exactly. No channel names, no nicknames. Second, you gotta use a permanent physical street address. P.O. boxes will trigger an automatic rejection. Third, your date of birth must be written in the U.S. format, which is month, then day, then year. And finally, you absolutely must input your local foreign tax identifying number to claim that sweet treaty discount. Literally, a simple typo here means your form gets rejected and that brutal maximum withholding applies.
All right, Section 6. Avoid these costly mistakes. Let's review some common pitfalls.
First up, never use a U.S. address on this form if you aren't actually a tax resident there, or you're going to be flagged immediately. Second, make sure you don't accidentally file the W-8BEN E. That E stands for entity, and it's this massive, complicated form meant for foreign corporations, not individual creators. Third, after you submit, always double-check your AdSense Transactions tab to verify the lower rate was actually applied. And lastly, and please pay attention to this one, these forms expire on December 31st every 3 years. You need to set a calendar reminder right now to refresh it, or that massive 24% backup withholding is going to come roaring back.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Have you checked your AdSense tax settings today? I highly encourage you to log into your account right now, ensure your W-8BEN is marked as a green approved, and verify your treaty benefits are totally active. Do not leave your hard-earned channel revenue on the table. If this explainer helped you protect your income, do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and stick around for more essential strategies to protect and grow your digital business. Keep creating, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.